Hey, what's up everyone? I hope they don't take this video off due to copyright or anything, but I just want to go ahead and state that all rights go to Ancient Aliens on history because of what this is about. I don't necessarily agree with everything on that show, but they do have a lot of good historical information, and they have a lot of interesting insight on things. So, there is some information about Nikola Tesla where he would get downloads of information and data that was ahead of his time. And he could transmit energy for several miles wirelessly. And modern scientists could not understand exactly how he did all of this. But what would happen when I was a child is I would get these inventions pop into my mind. Various things would come to my mind all of a sudden as downloads of information. And it's really fascinating when you see that he had these downloads of information. And if you look into the data given recently about President Trump, they claim he holds Nikola Tesla's documents. And that includes part of the stories of Baron von Trump and the stories of his the marvelous adventure and all that, and the stories of, if that's true, and it seems pretty likely. And he holds the scientific ideas of time travel and all sorts of things in President Trump's hands. Now they claim that he has these documents, like the John Teeter files. And his uncle, President Trump's uncle, they claim held this information, and so it was passed down to him to help save this world from a nuclear disaster. All kinds of information like that is available online if you'd like to look it up. It's interesting regardless of whether it's fact or not. It's still interesting to look into. Now, Nikola Tesla was a man that they stated received information into his mind the same way as biblical prophets were stated to have received information, through flashes of light. And he would get these downloads of information that suddenly came to him. And that's exactly what happened to me growing up. As a child, I would get inventions and ideas, and then boom, suddenly they would be in the science magazines very shortly afterwards. So many things that they describe with Nikola Tesla match up very closely to what I have dealt with through my life. And if you look at Tesla's information, it's quite interesting. And obviously they were never going to let it happen, as people in the comment section stated. They were never going to let that happen because, just like the rap battle said, if people knew that you stopped me from making power free, they would curse the Con Edison with every utility. And that was also a play on words. Con Edison, Con Ed, is actually an electric company that was in New Jersey that had several power outages on the anniversary of the major power outage in New York this summer. Con Edison had several power outages. Fitting name, Con Edison. Now think about that. And Nikola Tesla put light bulbs in the ground and had transmitted energy from afar, miles, to various light bulbs, using this energy transmission technique that he would use for wireless transmission of energy, using the energy waves of the earth. And if you look at the ancient structures, monoliths, and various pyramids and structures that they had back then, it is very, very intriguing to seem as though it matches wireless transmission of energy, almost as if an information and energy grid worldwide. So they also had ancient drawings in the pyramids and various other structures. Tech before its time, so to speak. They drew crafts, they drew beings, they drew energy, they drew bulbs, and electrical transmission was mentioned in ancient documents of papyrus and various documents that were on the walls in Egypt, Machu Picchu, in the writings of If you, the Native American Indians that disappeared, let's see, they were the Anasazi tribes. They mentioned various things, various vehicles and crafts and portals that they claimed to have gone through. And it was mentioned in the Mayan writings as well, which were sadly destroyed. Many of them were destroyed by the Spanish conquistadors, and Mayans did several things that were ahead of their time as well, even though they also had brutal sacrifices and things that were for basically to scare enemies. That's basically what they did. But back to Nikola Tesla. Several of the things they describe of Nikola Tesla match me very closely in the way that he had these inventions and things that popped into his mind. I had the same thing happen, and he was almost like a starseed, the connection. He talked about our connection and stated that, and the way he looks there, you can just see that he had that energy connection. He was saying we all had this cosmic connection. He almost seen us as such as like a robot, like all of us having this connection with each other, this interconnection. And if we searched within ourselves, that we could see that higher connection, that consciousness, and we could no longer, we would basically, what his idea and his thought process was, that we would no longer be limited by the perceived limitations of human consciousness, and our connection would go beyond, and we were connected beyond the stars, connected to the universe or universes, connected to that universal connection itself. And that's what Tesla had. That's what he had, and that's what I've had since I was a child. This connections beyond the perceived limits of common society that connect you. You're not just limited by what we're told is. You're not limited by. Now, yes, the limitations of being in this human form are frustrating, quite frustrating. But sometimes we have these enlightened moments, and that's maybe what the awakening is. Hey, I see this a lot. My entire life since I was a child. 11. That's always been my number since I was a little child. My mama sees 444, 555, 333. We see these things all of the time. I see 1111. It could be looking at the clock, the tablet, the microwave, the computer, the TV, the Chromecast, the phone, whatever, the radio, whatever I'm looking at will have 1111 on it, or even if it's the wrong time. And it's like a sign saying, hey, hey. I mean, what it is, I can't say 100%, but I know it's not just nothing. But I do know that it relates to the awakening. The awakening. And it relates to what's happening. And just before this phenomenon took off, that all of us made our channels regarding, that number, synchronicity. Those synchronicities happen quite a bit. But just remember, referring to God, in Him all things are. He's the firstborn of all living things. And in Him all things hold together. In Him all things hold together. I think is that Colossians 1:17? I think it's Colossians. I don't know. I'll have to look it up sometime. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to misquote it. But I'm paraphrasing. But in Him all things hold together. Because He exists, so shall we. And that verse I can't find anymore. But just remember that it's also, I was also, my grandfather on my mama's side, my pa, he was told by his family as well, and his grandparents, and that someday that the Bible will no longer be reliable, that it'll be changed to where that you won't be able to rely on the original truth, the original true word. These supernatural means and these shifts that we experience are possibly part of that. And both sides of my parents' families, in their grandparents' side, were told that at their churches that that you would know it would no longer be reliable. That the words would be changed so much to a point to where things will be so different, no one will be able to know the original true words. And this church down the road from us states the church is pre-denominational. Jesus Christ is pre-denominational, pre-religion. He's spiritual. It's before religion. Before it started becoming about money, before it started becoming about all of that, before it started the separations of different denominations and arguments, it was about the source. It was about the Lord. So, and I think that energy and this phenomenon and everything connects us more to the source. There's so much that people just that they overlook. But here we are. If I get 2 views, hey, where 2 or more gather, there he is also. So anyway, I just thought I'd share this and think about this information from Nikola Tesla, that we could have had free power, but Thomas Edison took all of his patents and all of his ideas and utilized it for his own and decided to make it a paid energy. They're not going to allow anyone to have free electricity because it's not in their greedy agenda. Anyway, thought this was interesting. Peace and God bless. Signing out. I'm sleepy. I'm going to try to get some rest. Maybe we'll get up tomorrow and have a good day, get some things done. Pray for me and pray for Mama to feel well and feel better. Pray for Daddy. He's also got a cold now, and he's not doing well. Chest hurts. He ate too much sugar and things. He has diabetes, and he knew better than that, but he did anyway. And then the diabetic, mood swings and up and down and all that. And then it didn't help with the blood pressure, and then his blood pressure skyrocketed. So pray that his blood pressure goes down and everything balances. Pray that everything goes to normal. And send positive energy for a good rest of the week and weekend and from here on. Anyway, I just thought I'd share about Nikola Tesla. I'm going to let you watch this in the next video. I don't want to get copyrighted, but I'm going to try to let you watch this video. Maybe I'll speed it up a bit so it's not copyright. That's why it'll be fast. It's sped up for copyright purposes in the next part 2 video. Peace. Signing out. My links are below. They're below this video if you would like to